As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Dustin and David from Filth to the podcast. Filth released Southern Hostility back in April. The guys talk about the benefits of being a band connected to many cities and scenes, playing in an MMA cage, how their side project became their main project, the themes behind Southern Hostility, and more. We laughed a lot and had a fun time, and I hope everyone who listens also has a great time. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of As the Story Grows. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, thank you so much. And I would love it if you hit the subscribe button on your platform of choice. You can find links in the show notes or at asthestorygrows.com to our Discord server, mailing list, and Patreon page. Enjoy today's chat with Dustin and David from Filth.
Oh, it's mirrored. I was like, why am I on that side?
That mirrored camera will fuck with you where you're just like, you're pointing and you're just like, nope, that's not right.
Yeah, so I was like, this isn't right. Why am I on this side?
Everything is backwards. What's up, Dusty?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Stoked to have you guys on. Your music is nasty and in like the best way possible.
Thank you.
Filth is an appropriate name. It's wonderful. Let's start. You guys are you from Shelby, North Carolina, or is that where you live?
That's where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
The same.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Shelby. What's it like?
It's a population of 22,000 people roughly. It's tiny.
Yeah.
It's cool though. Earl Scruggs is from here. Yeah. I mean, we got a little bit of music.
Yeah.
a lot of bluegrass and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, everybody in the band at this point now, because the original drummer and bass player back there, everybody's from Shelby or born right around this area.
Nice. What was growing up like?
It's pretty fun. A lot of four-wheeling. We got a lake near us, so a lot of fishing and stuff like that.
Nice.
I was an indoor kid. Read a lot. Read a lot of Final Fantasy.
Nice. It's funny. My wife is from Alabama, so we were down there for Christmas this year. My father-in-law, he's like, "Didn't you ever go four-wheeling?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from DC. Like, I was inside. I played PlayStation. I played baseball. Like, and then I discovered guitar, and that was it. Like,
right.
Once I discovered hardcore, that was my life: going to shows and listening to music."
Yeah, once I got into music, it changed everything for me. That was all I wanted to do then.
Yeah. What got each of you into music?
I think for me, I had some friends that were kind of into some heavier stuff, nu metal and things like that. I think I was probably 10 years old when I first heard Korn and everything. And that kind of got me started. And then I was watching Headbangers Ball and was it I Will Be Heard by Hatebreed come on. And that was it. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I got to do this. I got to figure out how to do this. So I just started playing guitar then.
Nice.
For me, it came up in the church and then choir all through school, and just met some friends that were into some different stuff. Like, ended up black metal was my favorite.
Okay.
Black metal. That's what got me started. Then I just found everything else from there on.
Nice. Because you came up through the church, were you like big into the Christian hardcore metal scene, or did you bypass that?
I like a lot of those bands, but it wasn't like my thing.
That wasn't your thing.
Not typically, but I like some of it.
Yeah, it's fine. I came up through the Christian hardcore scene, so you have like an appreciation. Like, people shit on it, but I'm like, if it wasn't for that, I was never gonna be introduced to hardcore because of that.
Right.
I got to Hatebreed. Yeah, Hatebreed being on Headbangers Ball was like the craziest thing to me because I was like a fan, and then it was like, oh, hardcore's on MTV. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Jamie
It blows your mind. Yeah, I know.
It was incredible.
Yeah, that they transcended like this hardcore band from Connecticut into one of like the bigger metal bands of at the time, and to this day, I think they're still huge.
Yeah. I remember seeing Whitechapel when This Is Exile dropped. The video was on Headbangers Ball, and I was just like, I can't believe music like this is on TV. You know?
Yeah, it's wild. It's so crazy because Shelby is such a like small town. Like, were you guys having to like go to scenes in Charlotte or Asheville or like? Yeah.
It was like an hour away from us.
Yeah, there's no scene here for metal. So shows, Charlotte, Asheville, Spartanburg, Hickory, Greensboro. We had to drive everywhere to play, which was fine, but that's how it started.
Earlier on, we did play a show here at an MMA gym, though.
We were able to set one show up. That was it.
At an MMA gym makes complete sense, though.
Yeah. The bands were actually set up and played inside the
octagon.
Yeah, the octagon. It was pretty cool.
That's dope. But it's kind of a benefit of being so close to like a bunch of major cities or smaller cities where it's like you go to Charlotte, you can go to Asheville, nothing super far away. You can still be connected to lots of various points of entry.
Yeah, we got lucky because we literally are dead in the middle of all that. I mean, it's 45 minutes to Charlotte, hour and 15 to Asheville, a little less than an hour to Spartanburg. Hickory's 45 minutes away. So we had to drive a little bit, but it wasn't bad, just right in the middle of everything.
Yeah. Let's talk about Filth. How'd this band get started?
We were me and Dustin were in a previous band. Well, we still have the band. We just don't do anything. They were called Invoker. It was a more politically based driven, I don't know, metalcore band, you could say. Okay. We were in that band doing some touring and stuff like that. And we were just out touring one day, and I had been checking out some new stuff, and I was just like, man, I really want to like write some really like raunchy, heavy stuff that's different. Yeah. And we just talked a little bit about it, and that's kind of how it got started, and that's kind of where the name come from and everything. It was just like, let's figure out how to write the most disgusting thing ever. The first couple EPs were just very slow, heavy, breakdowny stuff.
Yeah.
But that was really about how it got started. Just wanted to do something different.
Yeah, just for fun, like an internet thing, but it turned into this.
Yeah. We dropped the first single, and it Collapse. It did really well, and it was like, wow, okay, this is doing cool. And we dropped another one, it picked up, and then everybody's like, oh, we want you guys to play shows. So I was like, all right, well, let's get a band together.
It's always fun when like the side project takes off and you're like, oh, sorry, other band. Like, you're second place now.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, I mean, we've both been in a bunch of different bands and stuff, but the Filth always took priority once it kind of kicked off and really started doing well. So
yeah. If you were doing like political lyrics in your previous band, were you just writing lyrics like just goofy lyrics when you started Filth, or were you still carrying that political mindset into your lyrics?
No, I was really depressed. So.
It was very personal stuff.
Really personal.
That style in Invoker, we started kind of moving past it, at some point. But yeah, Filth was all very like personal shit he was going through, stuff we were all going through, and the music is very dark, for that earlier stuff. So the vibe would be, the vibe in the room would bring you down for how dark the music was. So it's just like it fit perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys put up Burden of Isolation in 2018, a little bit of a prophetic for what was to come. How'd the band handle lockdowns?
It sucked.
Yeah,
it was terrible. We did a lot of writing. And we shipped out a lot of merch. That was really about all we could do. So we spent a lot of time in the studio, spent a lot of time selling T-shirts. It was boring.
So let's go to Europe and COVID happened.
We had several tours. The whole year got shut down, and that kind of, I mean, it was like a year and a half. It kind of put us, it put us real far back, having to climb back out of this big hole from being down for so long.
Yeah, yeah, especially as an independent band. Like, I mean, COVID sucked for everybody, but like, your bread and butter is probably touring and getting out there. And with that gone, even when everything opens up and touring comes back, any mid-sized to small band had nothing, right?
Yeah, it was, those first few shows back were tough.
Yeah.
The first tour back was tough. Everybody was still scared, nobody wanted to go out.
Yeah.
It was rough. but everybody bounced back, and here we are. So
yeah, you survived it, and a lot of smaller bands did not. It was a time where people, like, I think, reflected. It's like, all right, am I going to spend my time doing this thing? And some people were like, oh, it's not worth it.
No, a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, we all had to go back to working full time, which was fine and all, but we still had a lot of time. I think we wrote like 30 songs or something over the course of that time. We were, down even for other projects and stuff. So luckily we had that. We were able to stay busy at least with writing. Cut the bullshit! Let's give her something to talk about.
New album is called Southern Hostility. Where'd the title come from?
Real spot. We were really just trying to find. We couldn't decide on a name, and we had like a few different other titles, and it's just we wanted something that just embodied like us, because it's a very angry record, and we're from the South, and there's not a lot of us, around here making this kind of music, so just put the South on the map. Put our town on the map.
Yeah, we did. We went through a ton of different names, ton of different artworks. It was a long process. And finally, I think we were just sitting around. Dustin was just like, what about Southern Hostility? And it was like, that's it. I mean, just knew it right then and there. It like felt right,
Yeah. Yeah. This record seems to have a little more, I don't know, hardcore roots, maybe some more rapcore in it than like, listening to Burden of Isolation, which is very like deathcore. Like, was that intentional? There's just like a continuing evolution of like how to take the band further.
Well, yeah, some of it was definitely intentional. It was more so like, for me personally, I just kind of got bored of writing the same heavy stuff. I mean, and honestly, and we had kind of, ventured in a little bit of different stuff, from Burden to the self-titled EP to the Ignorance and stuff like that. We had messed around with, a few different styles and stuff. But I think this one, it was just like when we set the studio time up, Greg at Chop Harder Studios, the producer we go to, he's big into nu metal and stuff like that. I mean, he's, that's where he comes from. And I thought for me, a lot of it was just like kind of going back to what I grew up on, and which was hardcore, nu metal and stuff like that, 90s hip hop and everything. It was like, let's just try to have fun and, write a heavy album, but do something different. Just kind of incorporate some stuff that we really like.
Yeah.
Kind of go back to the roots, I guess, of what got me started. Probably as well as Dustin,
Yeah, same. It was just a lot of fun. Like, not necessarily imitating, but just being able to put ourselves in that mindset of like the stuff we really enjoyed to listen to. Like just have fun and not have so much. Because the other writing process is it's fun to write music, but it can be draining.
Yeah.
And this one was just like, all right, let's get up, let's go, let's do it. And it was fun the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, everything felt smooth, It wasn't like, the other albums are so dark and eerie, and they, there would be points it was just like you've been in the studio for 8 hours, just like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to do something else. Like, this is just like, it's, you're just bummed, it's like, oh God, it's, because how do you write, 10 songs for an album, and it all be slow, heavy, sludgy stuff. At some point, it's just like, I don't know what to write anymore. My brain is fried.
Yeah.
So this one was a lot easier. I mean, it was just like fun riffs and stuff. I mean, Chin Check, I think we wrote Chin Check in like 3 hours.
It was the last song on the session.
Yeah.
I just wanted to write another song.
Yeah, I was like, man, I got a riff. I write a riff idea in my head I've been wanting to mess with. Let's just see what happens. And it was, I mean, boom, 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 boom. I mean, everything just over 3 hours. And it's like, wow, this song's fun.
You're waiting for like Jonathan Davis to write the Korn record where he's like, you know what? Actually, I'm really fucking happy, guys. Like everything. Yeah. It's like, what? No, you can't do that. It's like happy Korn record. It's coming one day. Dusty, does it change your approach lyrically, knowing you're going to do some rapping or bring more of a hip hop side in versus just like
a little bit, but I mean, I listen to a lot of different things, so I try in anything that I write, I try and incorporate different styles into it. Yeah. Even if it's just like different in my mind, it may not be different to anybody else, but I try and incorporate that into it. But the writing the hip hop stuff, it came a little bit easier to me because like I mainly listen to hip hop, like me and him both.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it seems to flow. I don't know. It just seems to come pretty easy for the most part, I guess, for writing this style of stuff, which I think maybe it's just because it's a different avenue and we get to experiment so much more and we're not just limited. There's a lot more fun in it. I mean, sitting in the studio is a blast. I mean, we're, goofing off and carrying on and laughing the whole time. It's like, okay, this is fun. How ignorant can we get with this, we're already working on, new material, and it's an even more progression of what we're doing now. So
yeah. It's like a good time to incorporate like the new metal and like the old school hardcore stuff. Cause like, I think post COVID, there's a resurgence of new metal and an appreciation of people just being like, this is what I grew up on. And just like, here's my influence, and people have more respect as opposed to like, fuck Fred Durst, right? Like, everybody's like, Wes Borland's great and Fred's funny, so like, get over it, right?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Now it's cool to like Limp Bizkit. Believe me, I liked Limp Bizkit when it wasn't cool. Hated on for that shit. Did you guys see that 7-Eleven's gonna sell hot dog flavored sparkling water? Yes. I was like, what are we doing? That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
Gross. It's gonna be terrible. I guarantee you, though, as soon as we hit a 7-Eleven,
I'll try it at least once.
Wonderful. Yeah. What was your approach to this album lyrically, if you're maybe not trying to be quite so dark?
Well, it's like just it's very mixed, but looking at a lot of the things around us, like COVID gives you a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
Gives you a lot of time to be pissed off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's just like just certain things, that you just had to get out, like certain situations.
A lot of aggression, built up tension from being stuck at home, not being able to leave, just everyday life, internet warriors, all that nonsense.
Yeah, I was about to say doom scrolling, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Right, yeah.
Because everybody was living in that doom scrolling, situation.
Oh my God,
that was bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been off social media for like 2.5 years now, and like getting rid of Twitter was like the greatest thing because I'm not just like mad at the world all the time.
Yeah, it's like I wish we could do that, but like having the band, it's like
right.
Yeah. I only post about the band on our social media, and it went down. We had an outage here for a few days, and I almost lost my mind. I'm like calling David. I was like, what's happening on the page?
Disrespect, you get what you get. I hear all that talking when I'm with the shit. Stand in my ways, color is the name. Mind with the gateway to the dark window. Everything I do it for the gang. Why you speaking on me? Get the fuck out my face before I spare your guts all over this place.
Album's out Friday. You guys are kicking off a huge tour. Is that just your plan? I mean, you said you're already writing the next material, but is your plan to just like be on the road this year? And
Yeah, try to stay busy. We've got a support tour booked right now. We can't mention just yet, but the goal is to, we got these 3 album release headliners coming up. And we're going to try to get on a couple more support tours and really just push it as much as we can. Try to get the album in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And then that'll give us some time. We can really hit the studio hard and early next year and get more material ready to come out.
Yeah. Try to make more connections and relationships and just keep building the band up.
Yeah. We're on that road right now to try to really, make it into something. It's now or never kind of thing.
Yeah.
Be sure to download it, check it out, buy it, support, and come out to shows. We're going to be everywhere. So
yeah, we got some awesome shows, Southeast, Midwest, Northeast. We're planning on going out West sometime this year. We've got a lot coming up. We're taking out a lot of really cool bands for the support acts and stuff like that. The shows will be fun. It'd be great for anybody to come out, pick up a CD, and hang out, and try to have a good time.
Just take the fuck out the way.